Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.
Welcome back to Two Jack Bros, and welcome if it's your first time. Appreciate you giving us a chance. I'm sitting here. I'm Sidney, by the way. I'm sitting next to Ansley.
Hello.
And today we have a very special guest, none other than the Jake Mattera.
Hello.
What's up, Jake? Yeah. And before we get into everything, I want to remind you all to do all of the things you do to show love and support to a podcast. Please rate, review, especially on iTunes. That helps out. And also subscribe to our Patreon. It's only $1 to get you all of our content, including the second half to this podcast. Well, not the second half, but like the sister podcast, you would call it? The counter?
Dark sister.
The dark sister. The Keisha to this podcast. The black chick to this podcast. And get you all of our content, including all of our fight commentaries on Ansley's fights and all that stuff that we do. We have a blast down there. Let's get into this. Jake, what is up?
Oh, man. I'm so pumped to be here, guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also, I was telling Ansley, I'm terrified.
Yeah?
I was like, I asked her if you guys ever had a guest that cried yet. And, yeah.
I think with Tim Butterly, we all cried.
Yeah, that's what I said. At first I said no, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. I only
Yeah.
admitted to teary eyes. I was like,
Yeah, it was, we were, the three of us were just like, oh, I'm not crying, you're crying. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Yeah.
But I will say this, before I just want to remind everybody and let people know, Jake has a very funny comedy special on YouTube. I think I watched it twice.
Oh, man.
I watched it the first day it came out, and then I saw your wife post about it, and I was like, let me go see what the numbers are now. And then I just ended up watching it again.
Dude, thank you.
Absolutely,
That
yeah.
means a lot.
Yeah, it's called A Soft One on YouTube. It's really funny. Check it out. You can also see Jake on his weekly podcast, Little Stinkers. And he also produces for Dad Meat. So Jake's a busy guy. Mm-hmm. And very, very lucky to have you here.
Dude, I'm lucky to be here, dude. Like, this podcast, like, you told me about this, when we were at Helium the one night, and it was basically like a scared straight speech you gave me about higher enlightenment.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I've seriously panicked about this moment ever since. Like, oh my God, what if I'm their first guest that doesn't reach higher enlightenment? Like, well, we tried.
Yeah, you were like I when I asked you, I knew you would come on, but like I felt like I had to not pressure you. I had to like wait for you to come around.
Yeah, I'm ready for
which I was very patiently waited. And now
Yes,
you're
you
here.
did. Yeah.
And just to let anybody who doesn't know what we do on this podcast, what we do is we take our guest, would be Jake, through the process of reaching enlightenment so that you, the viewer, and of course Ansley and myself can kind of reach a higher consciousness vicariously through laughing at Jake actually do it.
yes.
Right?
Yeah,
So
we
it's a
feel good too. We all feel good.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time. We'll just hop right into it.
All right.
Usually we do a little small talk ahead of time, but I think we, when people are a little as nervous as you are, I like to just jump straight into it.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready.
It is kind of weird that we small talk the people that are like comfortable
Yeah.
and then like just bang into it with people that are a little apprehensive about it, but that makes no sense at all.
Sometimes you got to throw the baby in the pool,
yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that an expression? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't,
I'm on board.
Yeah, I think
It works
that,
for me.
CPS needs to check this dude out. You got 2 babies. How are you?
we don't have a pool.
Where is he throwing those babies? So one of the basic premises of this podcast is to prove that you can have like a darker sense of humor, a dirty sense of humor, and still reach enlightenment. So Jake is here, and Jake, like I said, we're going to hop right into it.
Yeah.
And everybody gets the same questions. I think you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first question that we like to start off with is, what situation or experience has given you the most information?
Has given me the most information. I think the thing that happened to me the most, it was kind of like a betrayal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I could jump in, and not to go negative so quick. Like when I was young, my mom always instilled always tell the truth, be honest. Like, that's the number one most important thing. And then I remember I was working at Wawa, and my mom had quit smoking, and I was like so proud of her. I'd talk about her all the time, and everyone at work was like, "Oh, that's great, she's doing great," all that stuff. And then one time was on my way. Like I was driving. I was like 16, and I'm like. I came home early and she's on the side of the house on the phone and she's smoking.
Oh no!
And I'm devastated by it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I've been telling everybody, I've been singing your praises. Like, you know, you had like 2 years, like, right? I thought. And she's like, nah, it's been a while since I started smoking again. I'm like, where are you getting your cigarettes? She's like, your Wawa.
Oh no!
So it wasn't
everybody
only,
knew?
Yes. Everyone.
Everybody knew.
And that was like the point where I was like, okay, like, this is my mom, who I love. And like my coworkers who I see all the time, like I can't trust anybody.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, all right, well, just try not to do that to anybody. Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's a good message to take away from it. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a burn down the.
I mean, I had some trust issues for a while. You know what I mean? But I've chilled out with that.
I couldn't imagine, like, of all the shit that my mom has done to me, which, by the way, it's been a lot. She's not a great mother. Decent person, but not a good mother. But I couldn't imagine her having a dirty little secret with my coworkers.
Oh man, yeah. It was like not only that. I mean, I'm talking about years and years of like never lie. Like I was always like never lie. It's it's don't ever do it. And then to see her like in action, I was.
Did you ever feel like you had like a confrontation with her where she admitted anything that made you feel okay about the situation? Do you know what I mean? Like you need explain yourself, lady.
Like yeah, I mean, obviously there was like a lot of like family stuff. Like her dad was like very sick at the time. Like we had lost like my cousin who she was very close to in like a freak accident. So like there was a lot of like bad stuff like around that time. So I get it. You know what I mean? Now it's just like, whew.
Why
like,
your Wawa though?
Yeah, my Wawa. Like, and I'm like in 8-hour shifts. You got to find something to talk about. Like, my mom is doing so great. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake, here comes your mom. Why don't you take a 5-minute break?
That's pretty insane. So, I mean, I think you already did this, but how would you distill then the information that you got from that experience?
Like, I mean, going back to like not like trying to not like take on that philosophy that she gave me and not like replicate that experience. Like, is that what you mean?
No, I mean, however it strikes you. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think it just like, I think it taught me that like the people closest to you will end up hurting you. You know what I mean? Like, and
what are you trying to say about us, Jake? It's hard enough that we're an interracial couple. Now we got to.
Yeah. I mean, it's, and I think enough time has passed where it could probably happen again to me. And I'm like, no, like, not like, the lesson's gone. But, yeah, I think it was just like a thing where it's just, I realized in that moment, like, okay, like that was like at the point where like, you always argue with your parents and stuff, but I was like, oh, okay, they can be wrong. They can lie.
Yeah.
This was like the eye-opening experience of all that stuff.
Yeah, the parents are like humans.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Like it's incredible, but I don't envy finding that out at a having a job age.
Yeah.
But it's also awesome that you made it to having a job where you were hit by that. I mean, like I don't think I had ever experienced my mom tell the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, I only knew my mom to be a liar. And did you have a similar experience? Like, when do you remember finding out that your parents could potentially lie?
Oh, when they, like my dad moved away, and it was like, oh, he's been having affairs this whole time, and like they got divorced.
And you were how old?
I was like senior in high school, I guess, when I really like
loser over here. Well, you were younger than that, right?
I was I think 15 or 16. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this loser over here. Jake. Come on, Jake. Color loser.
I was only 17. I was a young high schooler.
Yeah.
And it was before the summer before. I was technically 16, guys. Because I didn't turn 17 until September, so.
Yeah.
It was a leap
summer
year.
before.
Yeah. So technically 15. The same year it happened to Jake.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
He was buying Jake's mom's cigarettes. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. Now, do you have trust issues still that you feel like stem from that? Or are you constantly, grilling your wife about whether or not she's smoking?
All the time. I'm like, let me smell your breath. Early on, like when we started dating, because we were dating in high school, so like we were either we had just started dating or we started dating right after that. And early on, I had some like crazy trust issues, like who are you actually going out with, like all that kind of really, really territorial and all this stuff, like definitely not me now. And I think it's just like she's so like not to be lame, but like she's so amazing. It's just like she built all that trust back.
Lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Boo. This motherfucker loves his wife. What a loser.
Yeah.
I was snickering about the idea that like her hanging out with your mom while she's smoking cigarettes. Like that would be hilarious. Did she work at that Wawa too?
No, thank God. No.
You just went to school with each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fun.
No, my mom drove her bus, and no. Just kidding.
All right, so we're going to hop into opening up these chakras because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
We take you through the process of enlightenment via opening up your chakras from the bottom up. The first chakra is the survival chakra located in your butthole. Are you okay with having your butthole chakra open?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rough day, but okay. We can try this.
Ansley,
Yeah.
open that butthole chakra.
Jake, how did you learn to overcome fear?
I don't think I have, to be honest. Yeah, I think it's still very much there.
What do you do when you encounter it?
I mean, it depends on the situation, right?
Sorry.
Oh my God! I just jumped out the window. First guest to die. Yeah, I think it's like if it's something that involves my family or like my wife, like it's like something where like, okay, I know I need to like keep pushing forward and like, but if it's like something that's just me, like say is like stand-ups, right? Like just going to New York all the time and like, grinding it out up there. It's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And it's like, why don't I want to do that? It's like, because I think obviously it's like a fear of failure of, not getting in up there. So
Yeah, I have a fear of failing to be able to pay those fucking tolls.
yeah, that's
Goodness
how, yeah,
gracious.
it's so expensive.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive trip every time I go up there. I really need to start doing more than just one thing when I go up there, just to make it, just to get the value out of it. Do you remember a time, you can even go back to childhood if it takes that, but do you remember a time when you were the most scared?
Man. Most recently, I think it was before James was born, like before we had our first kid, because it was like, I'm so immature and I'm very you have to be like self-centered to be a stand-up comic. So it's like, I was like, I don't want to get rid of like who I am and like throw all that away and just be like just a dad.
Yeah.
And not, because it's just not for me. I don't judge people if that's their thing, but
Like she was going into labor and you were drawing dicks on your own face.
yeah, right.
It's like, huh?
Yeah. But I was like, oh my God, am I going to be a terrible dad? How quickly am I going to screw the kid up? Like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just throw him in the pool, right? That's but I mean, like, I know, I remember like one of the biggest things is like, as a kid, like wanting to skateboard and like, I'd go around with my friends who could skateboard and I couldn't. And I would just like follow them around, just drag my board, and I remember like, there's this place that had all these half pipes by my house. Like you can go pay $5 to go in and do whatever. And, I think it was like the 4-foot half pipe, and I was just too afraid to drop in. And like I had like a crowd forming, like trying to get me to do it, and it was just like I never did it. I mean,
You've never dropped in to this day?
Yeah, I tried a couple of times, and it's like it's gonna be the thing on my deathbed. It's like I never dropped in. A half pipe. So yeah.
When you say you tried a couple, like what does that mean?
Because 4 feet, so it's like I was just off balance, so I fell, like which is part of the process of learning.
Yeah.
But Man, the first time I fell so hard I got this like instantaneous headache that would just like did not leave for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Probably a concussion.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
That is, I mean, we're not doctors.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you. We cannot diagnose you, especially
yeah.
from that much of a time distance. But that was a concussion, Jake.
But also being like a bigger guy, like afraid of rolling my ankle because like this is a lot of like weight. So like I mean,
Yeah.
obviously I was smaller then, but like still big.
Yeah.
So like rolling my ankle, like that would have been the end of my, I would have been in a hover round for sure right now. Yeah.
That is one of the, like, when you sprain your ankle as a kid and you're just like, I guess I just live here now.
Yeah.
You know, that's an embarrassing. It's so then is a lot of the fear that you remember, is it centered around embarrassment or potential embarrassment?
Yeah, I guess so. Which is funny because it's like that's all I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That is very interesting because, I mean, you don't hold back on stage. I feel like you tell pretty embarrassing stories about yourself.
I have no problem doing that. And that happened. Like I remember, it was like the first time I tried to be like self-deprecating with like my intro because I have like a ton of things where I make fun of how I look, and I remember like somebody on the street said something to me. I can't even remember what it was, but like everybody laughed and I felt terrible about it. And then like I tried like, thinking of like who I look like and like trying a variation of that, like being as mean as I possibly could. And it felt awful at first, getting like, because it's terrible to do. But after like, doing it like 1,000 times, you're like, yeah, all right. Now I have an opening joke. And yeah.
That's pretty cool. You just reminded me of something, so I have to say this because I'll be thinking about it for the rest of the podcast. Yeah. But when I was in Indiana, I had this little tiny, like Swiss Army Victorinox backpack. It's like a satchel, like a little triangle satchel over one shoulder thing. And I was walking down the street and somebody was like, "What your gay ass little backpack having ass?"
Dude, yeah.
and I like it caught me off guard. And I looked, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." And I was just like, "Oh fuck!" It was like I have no like this. I don't have any honor attached to this backpack.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fight you over this backpack. But I didn't tell you about that. No.
Dude, that happened to me with that. I would wear that brown leather jacket all the time. Like, I love this jacket. I was so proud of it. Like, I paid so much money for it. Like, too much. You know what I mean? And I was just like, finally, I have something that looks cool. And I remember the first time I wore it, I went up to like, I think it was Raven, and I parked like a couple of blocks away. And the moment I stepped out of my car, this group of like 3 guys walked by and goes, "This motherfucker skinned a lazy boy." And I was like, "God damn it!"
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, "All right, I'm gonna have to say that now."
Yeah. Man, I had and not to stay on this topic too long, but so I had a pair of like brown, like not like leatherish boots, but they weren't sneakers, and I was like, okay, it's just time for me to grow up and start wearing footwear that is not just sneakers all the time.
Yeah,
and I got these boots and I wore them for maybe 2 weeks, and you know how rare it is that John McKeever even makes appearances on the comedy scene.
Yeah.
It was like one day he showed up and like made fun of my shoes that I never wore them again.
Oh man,
dude, it was like
they were the brown leather ones.
Yeah, I was like, I guess they're wrong. I guess these shoes are wrong.
Were they lugs? Remember lugs? Were they lugs?
No, they were like a decent brand. They were like Bull Boxer or something.
Oh, wow.
It was like like I thought they were cool.
Yeah,
but it was like John's right. But I think that's a fear chakra unlocked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ansley, move it along.
So this is your pelvis chakra.
Oh,
has to do with pleasure and guilt. It's a little segment we like to call "My Bad."
Okay.
So it's a chance for you to offer an apology to a person, place, or thing that you feel like you need. If offering the apology, getting it off your chest will set your karma back to 0.
Man, I've thought about like doing an apology to someone for a couple of years.
That's the one we want.
But I go back and forth in my head because like they weren't completely innocent in the,
They never are.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So that, you know, we texted the other day for the first time, and I can't even tell you. We were in a band together, so you know, it got ugly.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just watched your special twice. So
Yeah, no,
it's
yeah.
just like, yeah.
Yeah, actually one of the song is on there that like we all wrote together. So that's why I texted him like, "Hey, do you care if I use the song that we never released?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Go for it." Blah blah. And then we just like played catch up through text. But like, I don't know if you saw the Beatles documentary on Disney Get Back. It's like 6 hours of them writing like one of their like best albums, and you just see them go through the process from like having nothing to like creating like all these masterpieces. And watching it, it's so like, I mean, they're the Beatles. I'm not trying to compare myself to the Beatles real quick, but
You just did.
yeah. But basically like the process is very similar for bands. Like when you're trying to like write music, it's like there's somebody that takes charge, there's somebody that gets shit on, there's somebody, and in this situation Paul McCartney was like basically berating and like shooting down everything George Harrison said, and watching it, like I was like having PTSD of how I treated this kid who was like my best friend like growing up. Like obviously like he snapped and like went like his own way, because you can only deal with so much of that. Like literally when I was in California, he delivered flowers to my now wife because it was like Valentine's Day and I was like out doing an internship, and I was like, "Hey, I forgot to set this up. Would you mind?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Oh.
So he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
He was still trying to get in your good graces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, by the way, I have a new song." I was like, no.
Yeah.
But
So,
you were a singer? What's
I was
your
a guitar player. We were both guitar players.
Okay.
So also as a guitar player, I wasn't like, I was good, but I wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
So like I also was very insecure too. So like whenever someone else was trying to shine, I'd get a little
Smack that shit down?
Yep,
Yeah, you McCartney'd him.
Yeah, I did. I absolutely did, man. And I feel terrible about it. But we're all doing fine. He's married now.
He's never touched a
Yeah.
guitar since.
I didn't say sorry. Yeah. I remember one time we were playing UFC like on Xbox, and this is the one thing that I still hold with me is like he was getting so mad because I was like choking him out like in like 10 seconds every time we'd like, you know, and it was like so funny to me, and I'm like laughing, and he's getting angrier and angrier. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "Good thing this isn't a real fight because you'd have to catch me first." And I was just like, "Dude, what the hell? Like, we're just playing a video game." So,
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that the line?
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So,
I thought the line was when you told me that my guitar sucks.
yeah, dude. I wish I would have, you know, treated him better.
You said he wasn't completely innocent, though.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
just
he
like
sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, like he had his moments of like, just being mean to me there.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's
It
really
was a relationship.
yeah.
He said that one thing.
He said that one thing.
Yeah. When we were adults and the band was over.
Yeah, man.
I just love
Dude,
some good gossip.
He
so.
would
Yeah.
pick me up, dude. It's insane. He would pick me up and drive me to practice all the time. Like I had a license, and like he was coming from like.
And you were like in the car practicing all the mean stuff you're going to say to him at band practice.
Dude, it was like he would take me to practice, bring me home, like drive to all the gigs, like pack up the van, like he was doing everything, and I was just such a jerk. We
Yeah.
all were like, so I just wish, yeah.
When he saw your mom buying cigarettes at Wawa, he was like, "You shouldn't be doing that." Man, that's a pretty good apology. Do you feel good saying that?
Yeah, I regret treating him that way, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And that's something you've never told him?
Yeah, I don't think I have. It's a shame. I probably should.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
Well, he just did.
Yeah. You just
So what
did.
you can
I'll
do,
send him the link to the podcast.
Yeah.
please do.
And say, please like and subscribe.
That's how we build our fan base. One apology at a time.
It's like a Black Mirror thing where you're like, if you don't share this episode, we will release this to the person you apologize to. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, and I was going to save this for a later surprise, we actually have a half pipe here for you to drop it. But that's not true. We don't have a half pipe. We have a lot of things, but we don't have a half pipe. That's a chakra unlock for sure.
Yes,
That's
that was a good apology. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's do you? I mean, did you feel? How do you feel getting it off your chest?
I still feel guilty, you know? Yeah. But I mean, I feel guilty all the time. So that's not to, minimalize that guilt, but it's just how I feel all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if we can. We'll see what we can do about that as we move through.
Lighten that load on your
Oh,
soul
boy.
a little.
Yeah. Ansley, keep it moving.
Okay.
No, get out.
So now we're into the gut
Oh, boy.
chakra. When is a time when you felt most disappointed in yourself? And how do you deal with disappointment when you face
Yeah,
it?
to start.
Sorry.
Start there.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
How do you deal with
How do
disappointment?
you move past disappointment?
Without being funny, like I eat through it. Like that's what I do. It's, I mean, I'm thinking like the most disappointing stuff right now, and this is a good disappointment to have, is like being the most disappointing is just like, having bad stand-up sets. Like there was one night where like I had like 3 in a row, which is like, dude, that's a lot of bombing in one night.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I went to the next set, I was like, oh, this will get it back. Like this will make me feel better. And they just got progressively worse. And it just like, you knock your self-worth when you're not supposed to, but you do because you're putting yourself out there. So that's probably like the last time I was like disappointed. I mean, I'm disappointing as a husband, if you want to get into that. Like,
I mean, we all come quick sometimes. It's like, it's like you do we can't help it, but
there's Kegels you can do in your pelvis that I learned about. Anyway, it's like my wife does a lot of the work with our kids, and by work I mean like feed them and like
Keeps them
put
alive.
put them to bed. Like every night she's like putting them to bed, and I'm running out doing like a podcast, and that's where the guilt comes from.
You just like toss them in the pool and she has to drag them out.
So like there's that, like, wondering if I'm like completely disappointing her in this process.
Okay.
Is
there no? I mean that's a serious level of disappointment to be concerned about, but but also are there any childhood disappointments that come to mind? And the reason why I asked you this is because when we were talking about the fear situation, a lot of it revolved around embarrassment, and disappointment kind of runs that same line. So I'm curious as to whether or not you have anything from childhood. Or before. I guess it would be really hard to consider anything before your wife because you've been together for so long.
Yeah, we've been together since we were 16, or 15. Was I 15? I can't remember.
Ooh.
Oh no! No, I think one of the biggest disappointments I had is I really wanted to go to Drexel University for the music industry program, which was like a brand new program. I had no backup plans. I had like, this is all I wanted to do, is I just wanted to be involved in the music industry. Like, I love like composing. I love like writing music.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all I want to do is just like learn about the industry and then like use the connections, find something like in New York, maybe work in A&R and get a job like writing for like TV shows and movies, like scoring stuff.
Can we pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
Ansley,
Yeah.
what's A&R?
It's a record company.
Okay.
I've watched a lot of VH1 specials, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right, keep it moving.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Because Ansley does that thing where she likes to act like she knows what people are saying when she does it all the time.
Oh, I do that all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we might get Jake.
he
on.
likes to
we
call
might
me
get,
out
yeah,
on
we
it.
might get Jake on one
Yeah.
tonight
Oh
too.
boy. Yeah, for sure. But so when that didn't happen, it's like I had no idea what to do, and I ended up going to, I shouldn't say this, Newman College before it became a university, and it was so small. It was smaller than my high school, and it's like you had to take a religion class and everything, and I felt so defeated after that, and that's when I put all my like focus into the band. I was like, you know what, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
When did you start comedy?
2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does 2012 fall in relation to the other stuff that you just mentioned?
So 2005 is when I started college, and the band was going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turmoil happens with the band. We break up in like 2009. Meanwhile, I like get a job in construction.
Wait, when you guys broke up, was it like a yelling, falling out, like how does a band break
Yeah.
up?
Did you
Like I've
also
never been in
Yoko Ono your band as well?
We had a Yoko Ono situation.
Yeah?
Yeah, and unfortunately, some substance stuff got in the way too. Yeah, everyone. It was kind of like rough when it happened, but like everyone's amicable now.
Yeah.
Like, and I still like. I was talking to my drummer today. Like, yeah. So, yeah, 2005. That like I'm going to be a rock star. Everything's great, and then we lose our singer in like 2009, 2010, and we lose all steam of like writing. Like we're still writing music, but we're not writing lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we find a singer that's really great. He's an amazing singer, but he's better suited like covering songs. So we slowly turn into that, and the heart rips out of the band. And meanwhile, I decided to go back to school. I was like, maybe I won't be a rock star. I should probably do something else. And went to Delaware County Community College for a bit, and all while doing the band. Went to Temple, and then I took a humor writing class because I'd always talk in between songs and like say a joke. And like not like a street joke, just like something dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I would get a laugh, and I'd always make everyone laugh at band practice. And Temple offered a humor writing class. I was like, this is what's up. Like, I want to do this. And practically failed it. I was like so bad. So I got that out of my system. And then shortly after, I somehow like scored an internship with Conan O'Brien in LA. And this was like the 6 months leading up to our wedding that I did this internship, and she stayed here and worked, and like was basically we're doing planning over the phone, but it was like basically again on her. And I was out there like, I don't know, I worked in their monologue department, so I just like wrote the setups to jokes, and like it's a quantity business, so you'd get between like 80 to 200 jokes a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was like when you have to create that many jokes, like some of them aren't going to be great,
Yeah.
And the dumb side of my brain was like, oh, I could write like one as good as that terrible one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what started, and then just like studying the monologue package every single day to like learn how to like write a topical joke. And yeah, it was bad for a long time. Still, some would argue still am. And yeah, just trying to,
Well, I'll tell you who wouldn't argue that. Your comedy special on YouTube, the soft one, which is fucking crushing right now.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah. So I would call that a disappointment chakra unlocked. We made you divulge way more disappointment than we do for a normal guest. So I apologize. I apologize for having you dig so deep on the disappointment.
I thought
chakra.
you were gonna give me the light at 1 minute. I was like, oh no.
No, I was like, oh, another one.
Yeah, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, that is too. It's for like the disappointment with like all the things you're doing comedy wise, and then having your wife,
Yeah.
Live the life that she's living. That I used to think about that a lot too, like the sacrifices that Ansley has to make in order for me to pursue comedy. Like she's like way more than I am, has the spirit to travel, and like see the world. And it was like, well, we can't do that because I have to do comedy, so I'm gonna travel and see the world while you stay at home and not. So it was like, I think about that too.
Yeah.
I think about that too. It's like,
Think about it, huh?
Yeah.
Don't do anything about it. Just think about it.
What have
Yeah.
I done? That's the last episode.
yeah, I mean, well,
Welcome to
there,
One Jack Bro.
that is something you can rest your hat on. At least you're not making her do a podcast with you.
I would love to, dude. I would love
Yeah?
if she did a podcast. Yeah, she's so funny.
It's
Like,
fun.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it's like I can't imagine anybody I'd much rather do a podcast with other than Matt McCusker and Tim Butterly. Check out Stoner Dads. Stoner Dads podcast. We have a good time.
Nice.
But Ansley, keep it moving.
All right. Jake, we're now at your heart chakra.
Okay.
What have you learned from grief?
And here's where I start to cry.
This is the cry section.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Let it out.
Man, you had to say it all soft too. So I was like, it immediately sets you in that zone where you're like, oh well. No, it doesn't get easier. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing what where this stems from?
Yeah, and we don't have to. We won't stay in it too long. But just, like what is your experience with grief?
I mean, I think I'm pretty lucky, like with grief. Like I've had moments, but like I told you earlier, like losing a cousin early on, like that was kind of like a shock. But then it was like right after that, like things always seem to happen like very close together.
Mhm.
Like so I lost my one cousin who is my older cousin, and then like my grandfather like within a year of each other, and it was just like very hard on the family.
Mhm.
And then like in 2014, it'd be crazy if I got the year wrong on this. But like my little cousin Chris passed away, and like that was the oh man, I hate you guys. That was the point where it was like, all right, oh man, I can't even talk about it. Yeah, it's tough.
How old was your cousin?
He was maybe 20. I'm so terrible with like age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But,
Like,
but about that age.
yeah, he was about like 4 years younger than me at the time, and I think I was like 27, 28. So like
Oh,
he was
wow.
like 22, 23-ish.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
And like just like, the funeral and like hearing like my aunt say like, she'd never get his grandkids, and
Yeah.
poof, that was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff was he into?
Like what? Like how did he pass away?
No.
Or
Like who was he?
He was just a really good dude. He was like, again, like he played guitar, kind of because of like me. I'd always hang out with him,
Mm-hmm.
and like we kind of like when I started dating Shell, it's like obviously like we kind of like went our own like ways. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got a girlfriend now, like you
Yeah.
know, so we kind of like disconnected. Nothing like bad ever happened. We just you're just getting older, and he came back. Yeah, I'm such a baby. But like he was doing like electrical work and all this kind of like real like man shit.
Yeah.
When he was like climbing towers and all that stuff. But like I remember hearing that and I was like, oh my god, like what? That was another like freak car accident, and I was like, dude, crazy. I was like, what if this happens to me? And like, like that was the proponent where I was like, yeah, I guess I'm ready to have kids.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing from that. So
Wow.
yeah,
Now, do you have siblings?
2, yeah,
Yeah, older or younger?
both,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're a middle guy.
yeah.
Yeah. And then what about your younger cousin? Did he have siblings?
A little brother, yeah.
Okay. So you were kind of like an older. I mean, I don't want to, assume the relationship, but you're
Yeah.
like a mentor, like somebody, like
Like early on, not like
Yeah.
as he got into like high school, I was kind of like in my own thing, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, like probably like his grade school years, I was there for all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then like yeah,
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough thing to deal with, and I'm sorry, first of all, and thank you for sharing that as
Yeah,
well.
thank you.
Yeah, and
it wasn't even that bad. I mean, it's awful, but like it's not, it's probably not nearly as bad as things you've heard already, and then people have said it probably better. Like,
well, I don't know if you can really measure. I say measure, by the way. I went full out with it.
Yeah,
I was like,
you did.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
jump into it. Like, this is who I am now. I'm 41. I'm allowed to say measure if I want to, right? I also say against. So
Getting more intolerable as you
Yeah.
get older.
I gotta live my life.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think you can really measure one person's grief against another person's grief because
Yeah.
grief is grief.
yeah,
And I don't think there's any one thing where it's like, well, he shouldn't be grieving about that.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the grief that we hear isn't even centered around loss that way, where like, they're not even losing a loved one.
yeah,
But you can still feel the grief from it, right?
It's crazy how relatable of emotion it is for like it's never really talked about. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we relate as humans on like almost every other emotional level, but like there's just no sphere in like how we live our lives right now where that becomes a place where anybody can share with each other.
yeah. It's like I think the thing that like with that grief is also like the guilt of like not being there like towards the end, and like just seeing them on like random holidays or like a wedding or something like that, and just like not rekindling like what we had.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that grief highlights is that you don't. So again, it's something that we never talk about, but in the relationships that we have with people, you don't really think it's ever going to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't think you're ever going to not have that chance to reconnect. Like you're like, oh, I don't have to reconnect with him now. I'll reconnect with him next time. I'll do it next time. And you don't think that there's ever going to not be a next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it's interesting that you said it like it doesn't get easier. Is that what you said at the very?
Yeah.
Because like I think that's so true. Like a lot of people, some people have said it gets easier over time, which I totally, like I listen to them, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. But like when you say it doesn't get easier, it's like, yeah, it doesn't get easier too.
Yeah,
like it's,
yeah. It doesn't. It's the same. I think both those things are true.
yeah.
You know?
I think it gets to be. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
No,
this is.
I think it gets to be more manageable.
Yeah. Something you learn to live with, like becomes like a
Yeah.
part of you that's like,
Yeah, when
okay,
you have
this
to
is
live
here.
with it like every day,
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, fuck, how do I get through this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll consider that a heart chakra unlocked. What if I was
Yes.
like, Jake?
I'd give
Yeah,
you
you
another
failed this one.
example. Yeah.
I mean, sorry to let you know, first person to ever not unlock the heart chakra. Yeah. So, Ansley, move us along.
Yeah. Now we're into our throat chakra.
No.
And it's a fun one though.
Let's get in that boy's throat.
What's a favorite lie that you've told? And
Oh,
you
man.
get double karmic points if it's a lie that's still in rotation.
Double. I normally just say extra. You're actually quantifying how much.
Double.
All right.
Yeah. It could be a lie from your childhood, like from now.
By the way, I don't know if we can make good on that double. I don't know if we can actually
said
fulfill
it.
the double.
Yeah.
I know, verbal contracts are legally binding in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You can't just be saying double.
Man, a lie that I've said that.
And it doesn't.
I
have
definitely
to
have
be.
lied. Like I'm just trying to think of one that like.
Is your favorite.
Yeah.
Like a fun one. And not to put pressure on you. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'll stop.
It is funny to me because like I get to see Jake's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. Jake, you're a lovely fella, right? But you also have an edge to you that I don't think a lot of people get to see.
When does this
I don't know what
edge
you're
come
talking
out?
about.
I mean, it comes out in green rooms. on podcast after podcasts.
Man, I don't. I can't. It's terrible. I can't think of a lie. It's so boring. Sorry, I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Also, too, it's
Yeah.
like, we how do I say this? It's maybe they won't find out, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, we're not trying to make you expose something critical about your life.
Yeah.
But really, the purpose of this, and I don't think you don't know this, but maybe I'm just going to talk it out anyway, just to give you some time to think. But I mean, the purpose of this is to, basically we're trying to show the full breadth of a human experience. The good and the bad, all the way through. That even somebody as nice and as sweet and who had truth be such a large part of the lessons that you were given, we're human. We all slip. We all find a way to I don't want to say compensate, but what is the word I'm looking for? We find a way to negotiate. It's not the word I was looking for, but it works, right? But we find a way to negotiate the harder things in life that we don't want to face on a regular basis. So
yeah, I found one.
Navigate.
I found my lie.
Navigate.
Yeah. That's a good one. I guess then this lie is still in rotation.
woo!
Double.
So I really all you had to do was throw points into the mix. I was like, all right, let me find it. I mean, the thing I don't talk about is like I've had I don't do them often, but I've had edibles,
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even like a crazy lie, but it's like
your mom and her cigarettes.
yeah, oh, don't you dare, don't you dare,
Dude, you're becoming your mother,
no,
Jake.
No,
Just like your mom.
please don't say that.
Do it on the side of the house.
Wait, do you?
I will not tell you where it happens. But yeah, I mean, I haven't admitted that.
Well, your better half.
To my better half.
Oh.
Yeah.
What
been like a
would she
handful of
care?
times.
Would she?
Yeah.
Now we get 2 new viewers of 2 Chakras.
No.
Woo! We
Yeah.
just doubled. We doubled.
Yeah. Doubled our
I mean,
card.
I should tell her. I'll probably tell her tonight. No, I won't. But
She's very supportive. She might watch this episode.
oh no, she doesn't watch anything I do.
Yeah, but this would be the thing she watch. Like this is for women almost. Because it's about a person.
Yeah.
It's about
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something I like. Like I want to be like, hey, look, I've always joked around about doing it, like to try to
Yeah. Easy.
bring it up and ooh, what if we do this? Like, it's like no way. And I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
And
joking.
it was-
Why do I even bring it up?
Even when I was like, what if it becomes legal? It's like, I don't care. I don't want you to do it. And I'm like, all right, well. So-
Wow.
so-
I mean, that went from like, I can't think of a lie to like, I'm lying to my wife about edibles. I was like, holy shit,
yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, I know. I had to think of it. I
Yeah.
told you, man. I knew there's a reason that I feel guilt all the time. And I was like, oh, there's one of the reasons.
Yeah. Okay. You could have been like, well, sometimes I tell people they had a good set when they didn't have a good set.
Oh, yeah, that too, all the time. All the time. And I want to clarify something, because some comics get upset when you tell them good set. They're like, man, it wasn't a good set, whatever. And they just like get all angry, like, you're lying to me, just quit lying to my face, all that stuff. It's like, I'm not lying to you, like, dickhead. I'm like saying just like you went up there and you swung. Like, that's why I'm saying good set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Whenever I'm saying good set, I'm not commenting on your material. If I was, I would probably reference the joke that I liked. But like, when I'm saying good set, I'm just like, dude, you got up there, you did it. I know it sucked, but you did it. Like,
Giving him an attaboy.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Attaboy. Giving them an edible.
maybe I should stop saying good set and just say attaboy. Attaboy.
Back him on the butt.
Attaboy. I had to get you in trouble real quick in 2022, but
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, wow, that's a throat chakra unlocked.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
that, I think
That took a lot for me to admit.
do you feel good
Can you take a
admitting
deep
that?
breath?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, hope yeah. Feel good for a little bit, you know? It's out there.
Yeah, you were the first guest to sweat.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. You were the first guest to smash our equipment. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Just sorry. Whoops. Look, I guess we got to start over. Yeah. No, but seriously, thank you for sharing that. I know how hard it is. Well, I mean, I don't because I don't lie to my wife, but like,
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
That was the one. Yeah, I don't want to disappoint, but I will.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll tell
that's
her.
cool. I mean, I mean, I don't lie, but there was like,
But you do disappoint.
I do disappoint. Yeah, but there was a situation recently where,
He's trying to get some karmic points.
yeah, I'm gonna get some karmic points real quick. Do you mind
Listen,
if I get some
I
karmic
got
points
double
on your
points,
episode?
all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to compete with Jake's points now. It's like, what's points? Yeah, no, but it was like remember I told you like I reached out to a high school girlfriend, to apologize about some things, and then recently she was like, "Hey, I'll be in town with my kids. Do you want to get together, with the kids?" And I was like, no. But I just, I didn't say anything to you about it.
You tell me on the podcast. So that I
Well,
Cool.
Jake started it.
You tell your world champion wife.
Yeah. Jake, what did you do? What did you do?
He unlocked all the chakras. all the third chakras.
I thought this was a safe place for that. Apparently it's not.
Lasers start shooting out of my eyes. Like,
Oh, man. Yeah. But I mean, but I understand how, like, if it feels like more than it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because again, there's a possibility, like I don't know her, and there's a possibility she could be upset, but when you weigh that against all of the good things, it's like women are so lucky to just be with any guy that doesn't hit them.
And there he is.
I'm back, baby. That's what I'm
No, but
saying.
I think Jake, like you started off the podcast with this when you talked about like when you said like in relationships that you have like strong relationships with somebody you love, like you're going to be disappointed, right? And like
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a negative thing. That's just like
Yeah.
a fact of life. And like I think that's like, and I don't know, like people that aren't in like a long-term relationship or have trouble getting, making a relationship last. It's like you're not going to find a perfect person out there that's never going to disappoint you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you wait, if and again, like I'm not assuming I know how she's gonna handle that upon hearing it, but it's like,
Jake's going to get hit.
This is the clip you guys use. I was like, oh no.
it will be now. But when she has the opportunity to weigh that against what the other disappointments could possibly be,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's inedible.
Yeah.
It's it is funny to me that it's an eating situation, but it's just like
I never thought of that.
that just tickles me. I don't know if that tickles.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a throat chakra unlocked. Ansley, get us off this one.
Okay. Now we are going to their third eye.
Oh
This is,
man.
what's the word? Ethereal? Is that the word?
Yeah. So we're out of the physical
Physical.
chakras, and now we're into the metaphysical
Metaphysical.
chakras.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what is something that you always thought was separate, but as you're learning is the same?
Like, I don't mean to keep bringing it back to a relationship, but it's like that is something where, like, say the edible is like something I want to do for me, right? But it's not me anymore; it's us. So it's like, if I'm doing the edible, when is that happening? You know what I mean? Like, you're like,
It's like, well, honestly, babe, we're doing the edible. So, I mean, so really.
did it too.
Like I'm building my defense right now.
Yeah.
But it's like it's crazy because like when you get like, you know, you want to keep your individualism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like at least I did. Like always like trying to do stuff on stage, whether it was like guitar or the comedy or whatever, and it was like I never wanted to lose that. But like as you get older, you realize like you're a unit together. Like you're doing everything together. So like it has to like I don't know. That's the thing I would say is like we're constantly like in motion together with this stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I
Is that a cop out of it?
no, it's not. It's
No,
not.
it's a
It's
great
like I'm
answer.
like because I'm thinking about that a lot right now because when I was able to do that, when I was able to stop seeing myself as an individual trying to do these individual things and look at myself as a unit, what was the individual that I was trying to cultivate was done anymore. Like, and I can now make fun of what, because
Yeah.
before I would be worried about making fun of certain things about myself because I was trying to cultivate an image. But it's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm a unit now. That image doesn't exist anymore. That's, you know, then now I can be self-deprecating. Yeah, it was easier for me to be self-deprecating when I was able to make that distinction.
Yeah, I think like once, like I mean, for me to come here and do the podcast, like we have like the unspoken agreement, like where she's doing bedtime with the kids, right? And it's like same, like I have a show tomorrow. It's like I'm going like right from work, right to the show, like because it's like 2 hours away. So it's just like we just have that like unspoken agreement of like that's going on, and then like how I like make that up is then like I get home at like, you know, like say midnight or whatever, and like the baby's waking up, even though I have to work at like 7 a.m. Like I'm still like she gets up 99% of the time. I got to make that clear right now, but like I'll try to do my best to like make that up by like doing those shifts. You know what I mean?
It's like that 1% of the time. It's like, well, could you do it, Shell? I mean, it's like, like really, you expect me to do this?
Yeah. So it's just like those type of things, and like last week because I have a day job, you know what I mean? So like because we need health insurance, and I was able to like delay my paternity leave until last week, and it's like I didn't do a single thing in the day for myself. Like we would like as a family, like we went to like the aquarium, we went to like play mini golf, like went to like some kind of bakery or whatever, you know, whatever they wanted to do.
All things that are amazingly fun on edibles.
Just staring at the sharks, like, yeah.
He loves sharks.
Yeah, so it was just, you know, like the whole week was like all about them, and then like at night, obviously, I have like commitments that I had to like keep, and it was understood. It's like I would make dinner every night. Things were like really nice and special last week, and it's cool. It was cool to like realign that, you know.
Is that like because we got together when we were young, still being individuals, and like ruined each other's lives for a while. Like you got together with your wife even younger.
Yeah.
So I feel like that lesson of learning like you guys were still kind of forming your individual self and in a relationship, and then you had to like be like that
was
seems like
crazy.
it'd be challenging.
It got weird for like a minute. It got weird like right around after we got married.
Yeah.
Because it's like that was like the point where, like, so we got engaged young. We got engaged like 22, 23. Had a long engagement, got married when we were 25. And like just at like that point, like we were both like really starting to go.
I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at the idea that at 25 you had already been together for like 10 years.
That's wild.
Dude.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Dude,
That is
I've been
wild.
with my wife more than I've been alone now,
Yeah.
which is nuts.
We just
Yeah,
at that
we
point
did.
like
We
a
just-
year
yeah,
ago.
pretty
a year or
recently,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's and it's like when we hit 25, like 26, like that's when I think it was the roughest, because like obviously you want to grow as individuals, you want to grow as people, but we also love each other and like love the commitment we made to each other, and like we want to be together. So it's like, how do you grow as individuals and grow as a couple, like in that time when you're like still changing?
Yeah.
And I don't know, we we got through it.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You just get through it.
Yeah.
And I think it's like another phase once you start having kids, because as a mom, when you have these kids, like, you are not an individual anymore. You know,
Yeah.
like, this child is like, you know, it's part of you. It came out of you. Like, there is no you anymore. You know, and then it's like, and dad's over here, and like, I don't know, like, sometimes
Party
that's like,
time.
yeah, like, I don't know. That's a whole nother, like you were talking about family day. It's like, you know, like, it's a whole nother, but like for the, like, as a mom, you're like this isn't, I don't know. It's not even like a choice, you know, like, it's like, I don't know if I'm expressing myself.
Well, let me say this though. We'll move on in a second, but I remember before, again, because the answer to this was used to see you and your wife as separate, but now you're realizing that you guys are a unit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the answer to the question. And man, I think rehashing that just made me forget what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so I used to have so much guilt revolved around me doing stand up and going out and having fun.
Yeah.
That, you know, when she would call me, I would pretend I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
Which was like, what am I doing? Now she calls me, I'm in Indiana. I'm like, listen, me and Matt are just chilling.
Yeah.
We're not even
So
talking to
much
each other, but it's
fun.
just like, can I go back to chilling, please?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, but it's a different level of comfort now.
I still downplay like the fun I'm having. You know, you got to downplay the fun. Like, it's all right.
His ones are little. Like, you
Yeah.
got babies still.
Yeah.
Like,
So that one's like, that's
Dude, she was at home with 2 twins on her tits, and I was just like, I am having the best time of my life. Can you please stop calling me? Yeah. You know, different strokes, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's definitely a third eye chakra unlocked.
yes.
That's a neat one too. I like that.
Yeah, I do
like
too.
that. Yeah. Of course you do. You get to talk about relationships for a chakra.
Yeah.
You know, I heard a cool like mom quote. I think Shell told it to me. It was like, you said when you had your kids, like you felt like, you know, they're like a part of you, and you know, you're with them and you're connect to them that way. It's like, but the mom quote was like that, but then you get to a certain point where you realize like you're a part of them,
Yeah.
and it like flips on you and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a little nothing to support this like hero image that moms have of the idea of being a mom. Get that shit out of this podcast, Jay. Unhear what he just said, Ansley.
No.
You're a hero, right?
Yeah. Part of those beautiful children.
No, moms are just
Dude, that's
women
like-
with babies.
I like when Shell, like we just had Jude 4 months ago yesterday, right? Like that was like that was like the most, you know, you had talked about fear earlier, waiting for because my wife had C-sections both times, because like once you have one, you get them, like waiting to go back in the room with her for the C-section, and this time like it took like really long for some reason, and I started getting like really scared, and I just remember like I'm freaking out, and I get back there and like she's like doing great because like they have her medicated up and everything like that, and like she's just like playing a host behind the C-section, like, hey, come here, and like, isn't this great having the baby? Yeah, it's happening right now. And I'm like, oh my god, like this is like from that, and then like that happened, they like, you know, sewed her back up, and like within like 20 minutes she's like holding the baby and like feeding the baby, and like we're FaceTiming, and it's just like, who are you? Like you, like she's amazing, right? Like that's crazy.
Hero mom shit.
Yeah, they
hear that hero mom shit.
And
Sydney?
when Ansley had her twins.
Jude.
When Ansley had our twins, we had a C-section for both, by the way. The first one was an emergency C-section. We attempted to be a natural birth, but you know ended up having to be an emergency C-section.
Yeah, same.
So for the second one, they forgot to send me to the other side of the curtain.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, dude, I watched the whole entire thing. I watched them cut her open. I watched them widen the hole with their hands.
Dude.
I watched them pull each baby out.
I was gonna say, that's not one, that's two. That's,
Yeah. And like at one point she looked up and she was like, oh, you're still here. It was like at one point it was like I wasn't supposed to be there.
They're like, we thought you were a doctor. You're supposed to be on that side.
Yeah, it was like, no, I only look smart. I apologize. Yeah, no, it was pretty wild. It was a pretty wild thing to see. And so yeah, moms are incredible. So All right.
Final one.
All right. Yeah, we are on to the last of the chakras. By the way, and you do have time to stick around for the Patreon?
Yeah.
And so Ansley, close us out here.
So your crown chakra. Jake, what is one thing that you can't give up and why? This is a 2-part question.
Man.
What is one thing you can't give up and why? And
That's one part, by the way.
what would it mean? What would giving it up mean? Edibles.
I have a really lame answer that jumped into my head first thing, and I was like, "That's too lame."
It's not.
It's too simple.
It's comedy, right?
Yeah.
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 Come on, this is who we are.
Yeah.
This is like,
I wasn't going to say Starbucks. I was going to say comedy. No, yeah. It's with comedy. It's just like, it's like our only form of like, I don't know, expressing ourselves. I don't know. Let's get kind of lame. Pushing the envelope.
Don't try to include me
if
in your
we
answer.
will.
You better answer this question for yourself, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if I don't do comedy like within the week, I get like severely like depressed, and I feel like I'm not that person. You know what I mean? Like, like if I never was introduced to comedy, I would never have this feeling. So it's weird. Like when you, like I hate going like a week in between shows because you just feel like off your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah. Well, I think I might have been doing a comedy a little bit longer than you.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think so.
I'm at the point now where it's like I don't need that time in between shows because so much of my lived experience in between shows kind of counts as my stage time almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I definitely remember feeling like I'm dulling myself with the time in between shows.
Well, I think it's like you see, I mean, obviously comparison is the thief of joy, but it's like you see people, like, especially like in New York, hitting like 4 or 5 spots a night.
Yeah.
And doing like, I mean, and then you go do those shows and there's like 3 people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like they're still sharpening the blade.
And then you're like, no, these open mics are the thief of joy.
I mean, really, yes, they are. But
Yeah.
like they're sharpening the blade, and like, you know, it's like what they would say with like, you know, like I don't know anything about basketball, so I'm sorry to try to
I
jump this.
love this
All right.
analogy. Let's get
So
into it.
it's like, you know, they said like I don't know, they said
We're not allowed to call them that.
this is like, you know,
Isn't that what Joe Rogan got in trouble for recently?
like, you know, it's like a basketball player would show like a draft pick who has like trouble with their jump shot would like just show up like before anyone and just sit there and start drilling jump shots, and then like practice would be over and they'd be drilling jump shots, and like it's like that mentality of going the extra mile and like continuing that work while everyone else is resting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's another like layer of the guilt I have is like this is truly what I want to do, but like if I'm not out there doing it 3-4 times a night, like what am I doing? But also it's like I love my family. You know, it's the duality of the situation, and I hate people who say like you can't do both. I'm like, fuck you. I want to do what I want to do, and this is I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Not this has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
But I realized today that Rogan's last name backwards is Nagor. That was like, dude, I've been waiting to drop that tweet. I can't wait to drop. I'm gonna drop it tomorrow.
maybe that's what that compilation was. He was letting people know. I didn't see the compilation.
No, I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
I didn't see it either. But like that's been cracking me up all day.
You need to tweet that.
Yeah. So, Jake, how do you feel, man? Do you feel enlightened?
I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I feel rested.
Sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a good. That's what we hope everybody gets out of doing this podcast. And yeah, man. So we're gonna send this raw copy directly to Shell.
Oh man, dude. Honestly, like I didn't expect to be like this honest.
Yeah.
On the thing.
Yeah, it's there's something about the room that just makes
Yeah.
people, it just makes people divulge shit. Dude, what if as a punishment, not a punishment, but like to what if Shell, in order to make it even for that, lie by omission, by
Yeah.
the way, which isn't technically not a real lie, but
Thank you, Sidney.
you're very welcome. What if she's like, you gotta drop in?
I would do it for her.
You would drop in for her?
Yeah, for her.
Dude, we gotta film this.
You guys have a Patreon, right?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, man.
Yeah, which we're about to get into in a little bit. So please donate to the Patreon so you can see it. Also, support, it's free on YouTube, and it'll be completely worth your time. A soft one, Jake Mattera on YouTube. Also check out Little Stinkers and Dad Meat. But if you are like, I can't check it all out, check out a soft one. Send it to anybody that you think would enjoy it. Send it to them as well. It's good. And I don't want to say that. I don't mean this in a condescending way, but I see you work on your craft, and I'm proud of what you put out.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Ansley, you want to say anything?
That was awesome, Jake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for opening my chakras.
That's what we're here for. Butthole first.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. We are out.
See ya.
Two Jack Bros. Two Jack Bros.